Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. Back in February, I got my first look at the all-new 2019 BMW 330i M Sport, and I said in the video that I was going to get my hands on the M340i when it arrived at dealerships. So it is the beginning of May, and the first shipments of M340i's have arrived at the dealership, and I am at Herb Chambers BMW Sudbury in Sudbury, Massachusetts, and I want to thank them for allowing me to do this review. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive BMW inventory. Now, I had some high praise for the BMW 330i. I felt that the brand was going back to their roots, being all about the driving experience and driving dynamics. However, with what BMW has done with the M340i, I feel as though they are now in the same sentence as the Mercedes-Benz C43 AMG. Now, the C43 offers 385 horsepower, this offers 382. They both have a 0 to 60 time of 4.1 seconds, and I feel as though that both sedans have put the S4 out in the dust. So let's take a good long look at this car and check out exactly what BMW has done to improve the G20 generation over the F30. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right into this review. We can sit down and compile a list of sports sedans from manufacturers across the world in the $60,000 price range. But inevitably, we'll still narrow it down to BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi, who are all trying to reach consumers who want performance without having to pay for an M3 or C63. This has been an ongoing battle for BMW, as the F30 340i fell behind its closest competitors. But with a major overhaul for the exterior, interior, and driving dynamics, that has all changed. And with the 2020 M340i, we're not just looking at a 3 Series with more horsepower. This is a car that can truly compete with the Mercedes-Benz C43, but is also drawing a lot of attention from former and current BMW owners who are praising the brand for crafting a sports sedan that's significantly better than last generation. A slightly more aggressive front grille and fender design, along with sporty exhaust tips and rear diffuser, and grey side mirror caps, sets the M340i apart from the 330i M Sport when it comes to appearance. Coming standard are 18-inch alloy wheels that were equipped on the first M340i I had the opportunity to film. But the model in this review is sitting on 19-inch M double-spoke jet black wheels with hovering center wheel caps that I just couldn't resist not to spin. We can say this about the entire 3 Series lineup for the G20 generation. But BMW's improvements to the road presence of this car is already making an immediate impact. This refresh was certainly needed with Mercedes-Benz making no changes to the C-Class, and Audi's B9 A4 generation already being in production for almost 4 years. Some people would call this styling bold, but BMW has seamlessly integrated the new front and rear fascias into most of their cars in the lineup, and consumers are responding positively to these changes. However, when it comes to the M340i, it's all about the enhanced performance and driving experience. For the 2020 model, the M340i's turbocharged 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine puts out 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Rear-wheel drive comes standard, with all-wheel drive being a $2,000 option. Depending on which drivetrain you choose, there will be a slight difference in 0 to 60 times, as rear-wheel drive will be slower by 0.3 of a second, while all-wheel drive will achieve a 0 to 60 time of 4.1 seconds. Comparing that to BMWs in the past, that's as quick as the E92 M3. But with this increase in performance from last generation, what does the fuel consumption look like? BMW claims you can get 30 miles per gallon on the highway, but for right now, there's no concrete numbers for the city or combined MPG yet. As I did with the 330i M Sport back in February, I had to take the M340i on a test drive to experience BMW's latest sports sedan. So let's get to the complete obvious here, that the M340i is more of a performance sedan rather than the 330i, and I had really high praise for the 330i. The one thing I like about this car is that for the price, you're getting some significant performance with 382 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 4.1 seconds. Now to put that into perspective, that is around the same 0 to 60 time as an Alfa Romeo 4C, but also this is very in line with its main competitor, the Mercedes-Benz C43 AMG. Now, as I said back in February, what I really love about BMW right now is that everything is about the driver and the driving experience. I had talked to a 340i owner last time back in February, and he was waiting for the 340i to arrive. And I have to be brutally honest that this is a completely different car than last generation. You have 62 more horses under the hood, and to me, I think it's just a lot more of an exciting car to drive. Let's give this car some gas. Now, also having experienced this car before last week, I can honestly say that if you go from 0 to 60, you will get pushed back in your seat to a certain degree. That was something I definitely didn't expect, and I think it's just going to add to the fun driving experience you're going to have with the M340i. Now in this particular model, there's also the self-parking features as well that I had shown you guys with the 330i, and if you want to check that out, I will leave the link in the description below. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there is a little bit of a burble to it, and that's without a tune. Again, it's just something that I love what BMW is doing right now with all their cars, and we'll see that later on in the year when we check out some more BMW models. What I personally feel with the M340i is that in a few years, we're going to look at this car the same way we did with the BMW E39 540i, because even to this day we look back on the 540i as being a great car despite the fact that it wasn't the M5. I actually think this car will do very well, and I actually think that this would be a perfect buy around the $60,000, and this can go up to $69,000 as well. But I do think that in the future, this will be a car that we will look back on and think that this is a great, great car. Now, as I probably said earlier on in this test drive, that I'm not gonna go on winding roads and do really fast stuff with it, but it just to me feels very connected. I feel very confident with the corners, and to me, if you're looking for a sports car but need to have maybe 4 doors, the M340i might be the car for you. Adding to your experience behind the wheel, the updated interior is a much more welcoming environment over the F3340i. Inside, you're greeted by heated and power-adjustable Vernasca leather seats for both the driver and passenger. They provide a good amount of bolstering, and I was very comfortable during the test drive. This M340i is also equipped with the upgraded Harman Kardon surround sound system. In front of you is the 12.3-inch digital instrument panel that comes standard, which in my opinion, BMW's digital display seems more race car inspired than competitors, which adds to the driver-oriented feel. Instead of looking over at the center console, your navigation will show up in the center of your instrument cluster, and we see this being offered in similar cars in the price range as well. Mounted behind the heated and leather-wrapped steering wheel are paddle shifters, and on both sides are buttons for your Bluetooth and audio, along with your cruise control settings. Moving over the infotainment system, it functions as a touchscreen, or you can use the touchpad with quick access buttons that quickly and conveniently get you to the screen you want to view. It's a responsive system even when functioning as a touchscreen. Not equipped on this model, you can also get gesture control, which will adjust the volume, accept or decline incoming calls, and activate your 360-degree camera without having to press a button. You'll also get Apple CarPlay compatibility as well. With the parking assistance package, you get a surround view 3D camera to go along with your backup and 360-degree bird's eye view cameras, and also your front and rear parking sensors. This is BMW's semi-autonomous parking technology, and as I mentioned during the test drive, the 330i I reviewed in February had this same package. Moving down the center console, you'll find the buttons for your dual zone climate control and heated seats. And beneath that are your volume controls and radio presets. Adding to the sleek interior, 2 cup holders, a USB input, and a 12-volt outlet are conveniently hidden, along with a wireless phone charger. Just below your push-button start are your different driving modes, which include Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and Adaptive, with each mode changing throttle response. For the center storage compartment, you'll find plenty of room for a smartphone and other small items, along with a USB input. For passengers in the back, they'll get a decent amount of legroom, but for the person in the middle, they will be cramped. 2 cup holders will fold down from the center seat, and rear passengers will get single zone climate control along with 2 additional USB inputs and a 12-volt outlet. Above is a moonroof, which lets in a lot of natural light and makes the interior appear bigger. For rear cargo space, BMW rates the M340i at 17 cubic feet of rear cargo room, with pockets on each side for smaller bags and cases. Now, overall, I do think this is a great car. What BMW has done over the last few years with everything they're offering in the lineup is really remarkable. Again, everything is back to the driving experience, and that's why I'm very happy and excited about this car. I have to be honest that I am a BMW enthusiast. I wasn't too happy about the F30 generation. I felt as though BMW went away from the driving experience, but this is back in line with who they are and what the brand is all about. But at the end of the day, this is the car that BMW enthusiasts have wanted and waited for. When you look at what the F30 generation was and what the G20 generation is, there is absolutely no comparison. And if you are a BMW enthusiast, I highly suggest test driving the M340i. And if you are considering buying one, definitely do so. This car brings back the driving experience and driving dynamics. And I think if you are a BMW enthusiast, you are really thoroughly going to enjoy this car. Once again, I'd like to thank Herb Chambers BMW Sudbury for letting me check out and test drive the M340i. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time.